Hello, everyone. My name is Brielle Gines. Welcome back to another episode of the GAWSY podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, Ryan Guthrie,
Hi.
and we are going to be talking about self love and acknowledgement, more so, acknowledgement of self. So, without further ado, we are going to jump right into our questions, with our first one being what are your personal or professional achievements that you are especially proud of?
Ah, that's a good question. I did prepare answers. Uh,
You're okay.
uh, Professionally, I am still riding the high that I graduated college with a 4.0. I
Yeah.
worked very, very hard to achieve that. Um, and especially as I apply to grad school, it's still relevant. Um, so that's great. And then currently, as you know, I'm working at an elementary school, and I'm really proud of the fact that I have really been able to make a connection with some of the younger kids that I did not think I would enjoy working with,
Hmm.
but I've just loved it, and I've loved being able to connect with them. And I don't remember if I've already told you this, but last week I had to step in and like substitute for one of our pre-K teachers, and
Hmm.
then the next day they had a different substitute and they were calling her Miss Ryan the whole time. It was
Aww.
so sweet.
That
Um,
is.
and then personally, I'm very proud that I have been successfully living as an adult for the past couple of months.
Hmm.
That's super exciting, just kind of settling into like how I want to run my own household and what I want my life to look like.
Hmm.
So that's been super exciting. And I've also started kind of putting my poetry out there more, and so that's been really exciting too.
Yes. For those of you who do not know, Ryan, as you just said, you're getting yourself out more into the poetry realm. I had the wonderful opportunity to watch Ryan perform one of her poetry
Ah,
pieces, and they are outstanding.
thank
So I'm
you.
excited just to like see and hear more of your poetry as time goes by.
Thank you. I've tried to be very intentional about writing while I have the time.
Hmm. For me, professional achievements, I'll start with that one.
Mhm.
I'm super excited, a little nervous too. I'll be graduating in the spring,
Congratulations.
and thank you, Ryan. I don't know what post grad life will entail for me at this moment, but I have hope that things will align how they need to, and I'll be able to mix just some of the things that I enjoy in life for a position, whether it be an internship or a full time um, position at an agency or a company.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm just proud of the not knowing, which sounds like weird, but I don't know. I've kind of learned to like ease off a little bit,
Mm,
but also to have like things like in your queue that you can hope and look forward to as well, just so the
yeah.
time isn't going just by. And so I'm proud of that
Mhm.
for this specifically within this year. And then personally, I'm proud of just who I'm becoming. I'm noticing, and I've noticed, I want to say within this semester and
Mm,
more of like the latter months, so let's say September, November, early December. Yeah,
mhm.
because we're like here now. But just, I'm noticing just like a difference in the way that I'm thinking and how I process things,
Yes.
which I'm very, very grateful for because it used to not be like that. And so I'm just hoping to continue to have this development and then allow it to be transpired to other people as well
Yes.
too. So yeah, that's what I'm proud of personally and professionally.
I love that. And you are also the coolest person I know. And like you were the coolest person I knew when I met you and have continued to be so.
Oh
And so
my
like you should be
god.
so proud of who you are. You're amazing.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Ah, good. Thank you, Ryan. That blesses me. Thank you. So our second question is, what do you like about yourself and why?
Mm. I kind of came up with, like, 3 words, like, that I would
Mhm.
use to describe myself to people, like, the 3 things I'm proudest of.
Yeah.
Um, and, the 3 things that I came up with is that I think I'm very kind, I think
Mhm.
I'm very funny, and I think I'm very smart.
Yes.
Um, and I'll, like, elaborate a little bit on each of those. Um, I I've tried to be more kind recently, because like, I'm a very judgmental person by nature, and that has defined a lot of my interactions with people that I'm not directly friends with.
Mhm.
Um, and even if I'm not, like, mean to people, because I try never to be mean to people, like, to their face, but just trying to be a more understanding person.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes
Mhm.
sense. Mhm.
And not to let my emotions get the better of me in terms of how I talk to or about people. Um,
Mhm.
and I think I've done a much better job at that in the last couple of years, like, since I graduated high school probably. Um, because part of it's just not being a kid anymore,
Mhm.
but part of it's been very intentional.
Absolutely.
Um, and then I think I'm very funny. I think I've got that going for me. Um, I love a
Yeah, you
bit. I love
are.
a joke.
Yes.
Much more to say about that, but I love making people laugh. It's something that brings me a lot of joy. Um, and I love making myself laugh. Like half of why I want to be a funny person is because I like making myself laugh, and
Mhm.
I'm really good at it. I think I'm hilarious.
I love that. Yes. I
And
love
then I
that.
think I'm very smart, and that's something I definitely use to, like, define myself.
Mhm.
Um, it is a core tenet of who I am is being the smart girl. And I was actually watching the first 2 episodes of the Percy Jackson show that just dropped,
Uh-huh.
um, and I was thinking about Annabeth as a character and how important it was for me to grow up seeing a girl who was her core personality trait was being smart, and
Mhm.
everyone respected her. Like, nobody second guessed her intelligence or, like, her judgment, like and that was just really important for me.
I love that. Right.
Mhm,
I can attest and say I see all three traits in you. You're so kind. Like you just are.
mhm.
Like you just are. And it's like easy to like just to connect and like just talk to you and yeah, like just be in your presence. So I
I'm so
attest to
glad.
all three traits. And I just love that you love those about yourself as well too.
Yes.
For me,
Mhm,
what I like about myself is that I'm like learning more, and this has like been, and my friend had like confirmed this for me as well too.
mhm.
I am a doer. I like to do things, and if I
Yes.
say that I want to do it, I'm gonna make it happen. Like I'm gonna do it. Like it
Mhm,
just has to come into fruition because I see the benefit of doing it. So it's kind of like, well, why not do it? I used to kind of be timid in a way or intimidated by
mm,
certain decisions or putting myself in different places, but I'm like, as life presents itself with new seasons, new levels, you're gonna have to be forceful with who you want to become. And that's been the
yes.
biggest lesson that I've learned within this year. If I want to see a shift in my environment, the people that I hang around, the language that I am speaking, I have to put myself actively in those places. And I won't lie, I still get like scared sometimes because it's like the unknown or the newness of something, but
Mhm.
also, I'm feeling these feelings of like, okay, this is a new season, this is a new level, I gotta change. And so like I just gotta do it. I just gotta like go for it and put myself out there and yeah, it'll just change. It'll just change.
I really respect that.
Yeah, thank
Mhm,
you.
mhm.
Right? Yeah, like it just I'm noticing that I like being a doer, doing it
Yes.
and just having a plan. I also like how detail oriented I can be. And that kind of like
Mhm,
ties into like I guess the doer trait. Like I gotta have things kind of outlined. I gotta know the particulars
Mhm.
of something. I very
You and me
seldom,
both.
yes, right. Like I very seldom like disarray because I don't think that way. So like
Mm,
physically, I need things to be like mapped out.
you are speaking my language.
We're on the same chord. We're on the same wavelength. No, but seriously, like it has to be laid out, or I'm like I'm confused. I'm not tracking anything. What's
Exactly.
happening? No, seriously, like I gotta have the details.
And you
And
were sorry, like, you were talking about how you're trying to kind of, like, go with the flow and, like, be okay with the unknown for, like, after you graduate college and stuff, and I
Mhm,
was reflecting on how, like, at this time last year, I was freaking out
mhm,
because I graduated in May, and I had no idea what I was going to do, where I was going to go. I knew that I didn't wanna go straight into grad school, but, like,
mhm,
that was it, and it was something where, like, I couldn't get something figured out right away, and that
mhm.
was terrifying for me.
That's real.
Mhm,
'Cause it's just like I guess like now, like experiencing like okay, like
mhm.
graduation's like coming up, like the semester.
Yeah,
It brings about like a lot of feelings. So like I totally understand
yeah,
because it's like it's just navigating a new world almost. Like just
yeah,
this is post grad life,
yeah.
and I'm interested to see like what it'll be like when the time
It's a
comes.
delight. It really is.
Ah! I love hearing that. Right?
Mm,
Thank you for saying that.
yes.
Because
Oh
sometimes
my gosh,
people
I
are like,
love it.
Ryan, thank you for saying that. Because sometimes like when you ask people like about who have graduated, it's usually like a mix of responses and what they say.
Yes.
So it's nice to like hear like a delight. I like that. I like that word as well too.
Oh my gosh, I love having free time. That's like a novel concept for me. This is
Yes.
amazing. And I going back to grad school is going to be so difficult because like I'm like, wow, I have all this time to cook and do whatever I want. And
Hmm.
it's gonna be hard to give that up again. But and like I love school. I love being in a learning environment, but I think you're gonna be just fine.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. So our next question is, why do you think self-love is important?
Mm. I think self-love is important because there's that saying that you hear a lot where, like, you have to love yourself before other people, and I think that's definitely true to a degree. I think in order to really let yourself be who you want to be, you have to love yourself and not
Hmm.
be seeking that validation from others. And I
Yeah.
definitely say that with a lot of experience seeking validation from others.
Hmm.
Um, Especially in terms of, like, my romantic relationships, like, that's been like, I haven't taken enough time to focus on myself and, like, be confident in who I am,
Hmm.
and so, like and that's really affected it, and, like, I can see a difference now that, like, I have taken more time to get to know myself and really think about, like, where I am and what I want, and going into these situations with, like, confidence and, like, knowing that whatever happens, like going on a date or something, that, like, I will come out loving myself.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah.
Self love to me has been quite the journey and still like
Mhm.
going on. So I think self love is something like it's not like a one and done kind of thing. Same with self care.
Yes.
Like you're gonna be on a journey. Whether the I think the thing that I think gets people is just the pace in which
Mm.
you're learning and understanding yourself. For
Yeah.
me, it's been learning to be confident within yourself and
Yes.
who you are and not allowing people to kind of dictate or show up and override the system that you have already worked so hard to implement for yourself. And I'm still learning that today. And so seeing the importance of
Mhm.
self-love in my life and starting like just GAWSY and what it's been. I don't know if I'd like shared the story with you, Ryan, but How I
Yes.
started GAWSY magazine essentially was when I received this negative comment from a guy about
Ugh.
my appearance, and it like it just
What's his
impacted me
name?
for like
What's
years. Oh
his
my god.
name? Give me his address
I
right now. I'll go
can't
take care of him.
I cannot say his name on this platform, but I cannot say his name. But
Text
he
me
said
later.
I will. I will. So, but he was like saying like he just said like just a very just terrible comment about like my
Ugh.
appearance, and that like stuck with me for years. Like
Yeah.
I'm talking about the comment like occurred in 8th grade, but I did
Hmm.
not get over it until I was a senior in high school. So that's like 4 years.
Yeah. Those early experiences shape your like the way you think about yourself.
They do.
And
They
like it's
really
so
do.
impactful.
It is, and like people
Mhm.
like have to understand that like words stick with you for a long time, especially like I
Yes.
love how you said that, Ryan, too, like especially like in that age, like middle school is like, like for me it was like just that angsty kind of like coming into my sense of self phase, and
Hmm.
any one little comment about my appearance is either going to make or break me at this point, and that one
Yes.
broke me. And so um
Hmm.
that senior year in high school, I I was just sitting like in front of the window. It was like golden hour, and I was just started taking photos of myself, and I was just like, I'm beautiful. Like I look good. I just
Hmm.
started to take some of that ownership and that power back, and from there, my self love journey just started. And it was very slow in the beginning, and now like I'm starting to understand more of myself. But it's important because I think self love is taking back that ownership of
Hmm.
people or strong culture, even what we say to ourselves that can be negative. It's ownership. And so that's why I think self love is important, because you're taking that power back and in turn positively feeding it back into yourself. So yeah, self love is important.
Yeah, because it's all about nurturing your relationship with yourself because
Mm-hmm.
you can get as much outside validation as you want, but unless it unless the call is coming from inside the house, it's
Yeah,
never going to be enough.
100%.
Mhm.
100%. Our next question, I don't know why it's sad. It was just like, yes, the power, the weight. Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Mhm.
The next question, we kind of it kind of goes with part question number 3, but it says, how have you
Yeah.
seen your life change since you've started practicing self love?
Yeah, so on the same note as, seeking validation from others, I don't feel a need to do that nearly as much as I did, 1 or 2 years ago even, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a major shift for me, um, and I'm also just so much more confident going into any situation, like, trying to make new friends or trying to get out there and date or just whatever it might be, like liking myself makes me so much more confident in every situation, and I'm
I
also
love
so much
that.
more content spending time alone is something I've noticed.
Yes. I love that.
Mhm.
Right. I love that. Continue like with spending time alone, because I know that that topic tends to get to people. I was like
Mhm.
that too, where like I needed to have people around, so I
Yes.
didn't feel so lonely on the inside. But even like going back when people weren't around, I'm like, I feel empty. Like I feel like I don't have anyone around me, so like I can't have life or feel as if like I can
Mhm.
just be still in a way. And having like practice self love in my life, I've seen it change because I don't know. I just feel like as I grow and shift like and evolve, there's just a different way that like I just approach life now that feels better, that feels bolder, that feels like I can do this, and it feels
Yes.
urgent. And I think on the other side of the practice of self love, you start to meet people or be in different situations in which it's matching the work that you've done,
Mm.
if that makes sense. Like it just
Yeah.
feels perfect. It feels adequate for the season that you're in.
Absolutely, and, like, truly, like, I mean, I just got out of a relationship very recently, and
Mhm.
I feel like one of our biggest differences was that, like, we were in a very different place when it came to loving ourselves, and it made it
Mm.
much harder.
Wait, Randy, cut out for a minute. Oh no, I can't hear you. Ah!
Express and explore my relationship with myself.
Hey Ryan, say that again. It like cut out on my
Yeah,
end.
can you hear me? Are we good?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, I was saying that, in my last relationship, one of our biggest differences was that we were at a very different place in terms of, like, self-love
Mhm.
like, it made it a lot harder for me to focus on my relationship with myself, um, and that's been a lot easier post breakup, and that's been really enlightening because I couldn't have told you that while we were dating.
Mm.
Mhm,
That's real.
mhm.
Our next question is, do you think there is such thing as too much self-love?
I do. I think that there's a point when self-love becomes self-preservation to a degree that is detrimental to your relationship with others.
Mhm.
Um, like, I used to have a friend, and I'm not gonna name names or anything, but, I had a friend where this person just, like, protected themselves and their feelings to the extent that they didn't let anybody in,
Mm.
and it was so hard to connect with this person, and ultimately it kind of sorry if there's noise outside, I think they're mowing. Um,
Okay.
but, it made it so hard to connect with that person and so hard to, like, continue that relationship because they put themselves over everything else, like, and could
Mm.
not be there as a friend.
Gotcha.
Mhm. And it was all in the name of boundaries, which,
Uh,
like, it's good to have boundaries, but when it prevents you from being a friend to other people, that's where I feel like it's a problem.
I agree. I think a lot of words kind of get tossed out that I've noticed within
Mhm,
today, but I'm like, I think it's being misused. And exactly like
mhm,
your example, like if it's causing you to kind of retreat, not come out, force yourself into a shell or self-preserve, then
mhm.
you might kind of have to check the foundation on which the practice of self-love or how the practice of self-love is impacting your life, especially with the relationships that you have with other people. So
Exactly.
that makes a lot of sense. I think self-love can be too much when it starts to border on the lines of being kind of conceited. I think
Yeah.
my biggest thing, I think, with going into self-love, was thinking that it's like a vanity gesture, and
Mhm.
I had to like unlearn that, and still like to this day still understand like what that means too, because
Yeah, absolutely.
I think sometimes people can conflate the ideas of self-love with being like conceited or like loving yourself too much, but it's more of like an intrinsic kind of love rather than a
Yeah,
physical kind of love first.
exactly, like, you have to it's in my mind, it's more so making time and space for yourself and
Yeah.
putting yourself first when you need to, and
Mhm.
when it suits and when it's best for you, and,
Yeah.
like, making sure checking in with yourself, making sure you're in a good space, giving yourself time to rest, and not being somebody that people need something from all the time.
Mhm.
Like, just giving yourself time and space, honestly.
Yes, like
Mhm,
we all need that like reset and recharge. I'd like just had like a
mhm.
friend text me like today about like just restoring herself, and
Absolutely.
we need that. I was like even thinking like just with being on Christmas break right now, I was like I think like there's like that student kind of like anxiousness of like okay, like Do I need to be doing something? Do I need to be like buffing out my resume? Do I need to be applying for a
Mhm.
job? Is there like an assignment? I'm like, no, like, bro, you need to like, you don't need to do anything right now,
Exactly.
but be on break.
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
it. And that's literally it.
Ah,
So our next question is, when you're having a bad day, what's one thing that consistently boosts your mood?
I call my mom.
Yes.
I love my mom so much. Um, and she's always just such a great person to talk to, um, about, like, everything. And, like,
Hmm.
I don't know, she's just great, and I just love talking to her. I talk to my mom almost every day. Um, she's just wonderful. So
I love
that's the main
that.
thing, or I try to, like, hang out with people, because like, there are
Mhm.
definitely times when, like, you're just in a bad mood and you want somebody to come hang out with you. Mhm.
Yes. Right, I love that. There's nothing like just quite like talking to a mom and having
Mhm.
like just a mother's wisdom and a mom's insight and just a mom's like just presence just to talk to. They're just there's not a feeling that compares to it. And I like yeah,
And
I
sometimes she laughs at me, and it's exactly what I need.
Aw, I
Like,
love
I'll be
that.
like, "This is going on," and she's like, "Dude, that sucks. That's on you." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right."
I love that. Ah, I love that. For me,
Mhm.
whenever I'm having a bad day, oh my gosh, I've had like an earworm with this
Mhm.
song since like the end of September.
Oh my
And I was like,
gosh,
I went
that's
on
a
a
long
walk
time.
yesterday. Yes, right. Like it's been it's been a couple
Oh
months.
my gosh.
Like I went on a walk yesterday and like because I was just like I need to like just let go of some steam. It was kind of like
Mhm.
I need a it was a decompressing walk.
Yes.
So I like put my headphones on and I turned that song on and I can just feel like the brain chemicals like intricately aligning with this song because
Absolutely.
it just melts away. Everything just melts away.
That's so
It's such
healing.
a good song. It is. Like
Yes,
I love this song. It makes me happy.
that's beautiful.
And other ways, whenever I'm having a bad day, I just start to kind of I don't know, just not daydream per se, but just think about like I don't know what more life has to
Mm,
offer. It's like I don't know, it just gives me energy to think about like there's more and that whatever you're feeling right now, it'll pass
yeah,
and you won't be here forever. So
I love
that usually
that.
makes me happy during the bad day.
See, I'm definitely more of an in the moment person, and something else that can pull me out, a sweet treat every
A
time.
sweet
A
treat is
sweet
gonna
treat.
do it every time.
Exactly.
Ryan, you were speaking my language. Me and my sister, yes, when she comes home for break, we will be having some sweet treat moments. It's
I
just a
love
sweet
that.
treat's gonna do it, Ryan. I
It
echo that.
it fixes everything.
Everything.
Mhm.
This is your reminder, everybody, to go. It's sweet treat o'clock.
It is.
Go get yourself a sweet treat.
And have one for us too.
Yes.
Mhm.
I also want to say as well too, when you were talking about Ryan like hanging out with a friend,
Mm.
to like boost your mood. I want to say to the audience, me and Ryan have started a tradition where our local fuzzies taco does trivia nights on Tuesdays,
Mm.
and our very first time was such a great time.
Oh
We
my
came in
gosh, it was
fourth
such a
place.
blast. I
We did
cannot
good.
wait for you to come back and keep doing that after break.
Right? Same. I'm so excited. Like trivia is so fun. If anywhere in your local area, everyone, if they do trivia, please go. Grab a friend, go to trivia. Grab a friend or two,
Well, and also
go to trivia.
I just value getting to hang out with you once a week. Like like
Yes.
I just love the consistency of it and getting to see you, and it's just wonderful.
Ryan, I like share the same sentiment as well. I remember like 'cause I was me and Ryan, we were talking and I was like, yeah, like we should have like just a weekly tradition, like just doing something. And I like that because I think that's like or just
Mhm.
like where like I am. Like I just like I like that consistency, like you're saying, like just
Mhm.
seeing, being in each other's presence for like at least like once a week, and it just makes me happy.
Me
It
too.
just makes me happy. And so our very last question for today's episode is: what are some self-love affirmations that you could say to yourself, or that you do currently say to yourself?
One thing that I have started saying to myself is just reminding myself that people like me. And I heard this
Mhm.
actually on another podcast. I don't remember what it was, but just kind of that reminder, like, not even that I'm loved, because like I'm very blessed. I like have an incredible family and like I know that I am loved, but remembering that people like me and kind of
Mhm.
confirming that with myself before I enter a situation has been extremely helpful, especially because, like, I have not always been an incredibly popular person, and that's fine. But, like but because it's not something that's ingrained with me, having to remind myself of it has been very helpful.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yes. I love that, right? I love that you tell yourself that as well too.
yeah, and
I
then
love that.
sorry, I would say the other thing is just reminding myself that as long as I'm doing my best, that's all I can do.
100%.
Mhm.
100%. Right? I love that.
Mhm.
Yes. Ah, I just love I just love it. I love like just the conversation, and I just that's all. Just
Yes.
for me,
Mm.
one affirmation that actually I need to like buff up on like my affirmations. So I kind of like just get up and kind of go.
Mhm.
And I think honestly you can tell yourself an affirmation at any time of the day. Before you go to bed, when you wake up, at lunch, midday,
Mhm.
evening. Speak life to yourself all the time. Um but one affirmation that I've been thinking about a lot has been um I'm going to create the life that I want for myself, and it's going to be good, and that I don't have to settle for things because it'll get me someplace, and I don't have to, I don't know, just compromise something for sake of it not being what I wanted, I guess, to be. That sounds like confusing, but like,
No,
I
I
just
love
like,
that.
thank you, right? Because I'm just like, I can create the life that I want for myself, and it can be good, and I want that to happen. And that's just been
Yeah.
like random true for me as I'm thinking about just post grad life and career things. And yeah, like I'm gonna have a great life that fuses at least hopefully just a mix of what I enjoy doing now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna travel, I'm gonna experience love, I'm gonna write, create, do, and execute, and that's just gonna be that.
I think that's incredible because, like, I mean, it's so easy to get caught up in what is outside of your control.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, kind of reminding yourself the power you have over your own future, like, even though there's always things you can't plan for, like, just reminding yourself that, like, your power is to a degree within your control. I think that's so beautiful.
Yes, like you have the opportunity to change at any time, and so that's just what I've been learning in this season so far,
Absolutely.
affirming myself in thought.
Mhm.
um when I can, I should be doing it every
Yes.
day. But I feel
I
like
love
I
that.
also I also do it physically as well too, whether it's where I'm applying to somewhere or talking to my mom about things. Like
Mhm.
it's affirmation and action, I guess I could
Yes.
say, or phrase it as. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, I just found a spider web. That's not fun.
Have fun.
Oh,
Spiders.
they're so good for the environment, but I don't want them in my home.
I feel that. I'm like, to be so beneficial, but to also be scary, and
They're
at the
cute.
same time, it's like, no,
They're just a little
no
freaky.
thanks. Just a little.
Oh, but yeah.
Ryan, Thank you so much for joining us on this episode today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, and we're going to get you back on here again.
Absolutely. Every time I talk to you, it is the highlight of my week.
You're gonna stop. Man, I enjoy talking to you too. I thoroughly, thoroughly do.
Mm. All right. I hope you have a magical winter break.
Brian,
I
you
hope I hope it
too.
is so restful.
Brian, thank you. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna prioritize this rest while I have it.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Ryan, and thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the GAWSY podcast. Please be sure to check out all of our other episodes, and we cannot wait to chat with you all again for another episode.